Me, retirement is still about 30 years away, but I don't think it's ever too early to plan your future. So let's imagine this together. If you had to retire next year, would you rather do it in Singapore or in Malaysia? Not where you want to retire, but where your money actually allows you to. Because just recently, a former Malaysian turned Singaporean said something that scared a lot of people. He said, "Retiring in Singapore feels impossible. I think I'll work until I die." That one sentence triggered huge discussion online because it touched a very real anxiety, especially among those of us who are not ultra-rich. So, today, instead of asking which country is better, let's ask a more honest question. What kind of retirement does each system actually produce? In Malaysia, the biggest advantage is cost efficiency and the lifestyle flexibility. For retirees with modest saving, say EPF balances around 240,000, the lower cost of living makes a huge difference. In Malaysian cities, daily expenses are roughly 60% lower than Singapore. Food is cheap, utilities are manageable, and many retirees live in homes they already own. Even for those returning from Singapore and renting, costs remain relatively affordable. Public health care is heavily subsidized. For routine needs, it works reasonably well. And for low-income retirees, this means one critical thing. Their EPF savings last longer without constant pressure to keep working. Malaysia offers something many retirees crave, the feeling that you can finally slow down. Now, compare that with Singapore. Singapore's advantage is not cheap living, it's structure and protection. Most retirees already own their HDB flights. They rent out spare rooms, creating additional income and strengthen retirement security. Singapore forces retirement plan through CPF. Even with relatively modest balance, CPF Life covers savings to lifelong payout. On top of that, lower-income seniors may receive direct cash support through schemes like Silver Support. Healthcare costs are buffered through MediSave, MediShield Life, and subsidies. For example, a senior relative of mine undergoing major surgery like a bypass may pay around 1,000 Singapore dollars total after subsidies and insurance coverage. You may not live in luxury life, but it is generally difficult to fall into absolute hardship. That is Singapore's trade-off. Higher daily costs and a limited space in exchange for a strong safety net. For middle-income retirees, the differences become even clearer. In Malaysia, higher EPF saving allows for better housing, private healthcare, travel, and a more lifestyle-driven retirement. In Singapore, higher CPF balances translate into stronger lifelong income. Add rent income, investment returns, and occasional part-time work, and the fear of outliving your money is much lower. But no system is perfect. Let's talk about the downsides. In Malaysia, the biggest risk is uncertainty. EPF offers flexibility, but flexibility also means responsibility. There's no mandatory lifetime annuity. If financial planning is poor, if you live longer than expected, or if major medical costs hit, savings can be depleted. Government assistance exists but tightly targeted. If you are just above the threshold, you may receive little or nothing. Healthcare quality also varies by location. External risks, such as floods, crime, are the things retirees must personally absorb. Malaysia works very well when your plan holds, but when plan fails, the safety net is thinner. In Singapore, the downside is pressure. Even with CPF Life and support schemes, daily living is expensive. Food, transport, utility, healthcare, and yes, even everyday costs like alcohol or cigarettes are pricier than in Malaysia, and the price continues to rise. For retirees just above subsidy cutoffs, life can feel especially tight. You're not poor enough for help, but not comfortable enough to relax. Urban living is dense. Life never really slows down. That's where the fear of work until I die comes from. Not because support doesn't exist, but because the city never switch off. So, is Singapore or Malaysia better for retirement? Honestly, neither. And also, both. If you value affordability, space, and a lifestyle freedom, Malaysia offers room for breath, especially if you plan carefully. If you value healthcare access and not becoming a burden to your family, Singapore offers reassurance, even if life feels tight. Some of you watching might think, luckily I retired in Singapore. Others might smile and say, thank goodness I went back to Malaysia. And if you are younger, the most realistic answer might be this. Don't lock yourself into one system too early, because retirement today isn't about choosing the best country. It's about choosing the right system for the life you want. And sometimes, the smartest retirement plan is keeping your option open.